Okay, let's jump right in. We're looking at a source today that kicks off with this massive contradiction.
A huge one.
I mean, it's a paradox that just grabs you. You have a religious tradition, Islam, that is very, very clear on the practice of magic.
Oh, absolutely. It's forbidden, sir, or sorcery is one of the biggest sins you can commit.
It's a huge no-no.
Yeah,
You don't go near it.
got it all.
And yet, the man at the center of our deep dive today, he calls himself the blind Muslim yogi. He argues that the Quran and the daily prayers are, in fact, the biggest book of magic and the biggest act of magic in existence.
It's such a fascinating reframe, isn't it? He's taking this completely taboo word and placing it right at the heart of the faith.
It's wild. So
Mm.
today we're diving into the world of Osman, who also goes by the Man from Oz.
A great nickname.
And our mission here is to really understand how he manages to synthesize Islamic theology with ancient yogic practices and this thing he calls bioenergy healing.
Right, and it's all part of this very pragmatic toolkit he's developed.
Exactly. We're talking about using scripture not just for, salvation in the afterlife, but as a functional magic for anxiety, for health, for just getting through your day.
And what's so interesting is that he's not trying to reinvent the wheel or start some new religion. He's looking at these ancient rituals that billions of people do.
Every single day.
And he's asking this very almost engineer-like question. What's the utility here? What is the actual mechanism at work? He's trying to strip away the dogma to find the energy, or as he calls it, the magic underneath.
So settle in. Whether you're spiritual or maybe a bit skeptical or just curious how a 10-minute anxiety fix can be sent through the air for the price of a coffee. We have a lot to get through.
Let's do it.
So first, we have to talk about who this guy even is. Osman.
The blind Muslim yogi, that title alone tells you there's a story there.
It really does. It's such a unique combination of identities.
For sure.
So in the source, he lays out his credentials, and it's quite a resume. He's a bioenergy healer, he works in critical care recovery, and he's been a yoga and meditation teacher for 50 years.
50. That's a long time.
But here's the twist. He only converted to Islam 20 years ago.
And that timeline is so important. It means he came to the Quran with 3 decades of Eastern spiritual practice already in his system.
Right. Yoga, martial arts, energy work.
He wasn't raised with the cultural baggage of the religion. He approached it like a spiritual technician who's already an expert in a different field.
A technician, that's a perfect word. He sees it all through the lens of a yogi. And then there's the nickname, the Man from Oz.
A play on Osman, obviously.
Of course. But he totally leans into it. He says people call him that because he seems to use these magical healing methods.
And this is where that synthesis he talks about really comes into play. He mentions studying under masters from all over the Far East, the Middle East, even scientists.
He says he weaned out the best parts from all of them to create these new protocols.
Protocols made for the 21st century.
Yeah, that's his whole thing.
Yeah.
He wants things that are faster, quicker, and result-oriented.
Yeah.
He's not telling you to go meditate in a cave for 10 years.
He knows we have jobs to do, bills to pay.
Exactly. So he offers like a 5-minute yoga program or, and this is my favorite part, a $5 anxiety fix.
It's a telepathic one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You can literally go to his website, pay $5, and he says he will deliver an anxiety fix to you telepathically, anywhere in the world.
You know, it's easy to laugh at that, and I'm sure some listeners are kind of rolling their eyes right now.
I mean, a little bit.
But if you think about it within his framework, it's actually completely consistent. He treats spiritual energy like a utility.
Like electricity.
Or Wi-Fi, yeah. It's not about, are you worthy enough? Or have you done the rituals? It's just, do you want the download? Yes or no.
That's a great way of putting it. It's making the mystical accessible. And that utility mindset is so clear when he talks about prayer.
The 5 companions.
Right, so in Islam, there are 5 mandatory daily prayers. Salah. For a lot of people, that can feel like a duty, a burden even.
Something you have to check off the list.
But Osman calls them his 5 closest companions.
He has that line, you can judge a person by who they hang out with. And he chooses to hang out with his prayers.
But listen to how he describes the effect of it. This isn't just about showing up. He talks about being in a state of, total stress, heartbroken, anxious.
He's in the middle of a crisis.
And he goes into this prayer, this connection, and he says his heart speaks.
And the tears.
Yes. He says the tears get wiped away. He claims that by the time he's done, the problem feels like it is just vanished.
And see, that's the bridge. That's where he connects religion to his idea of magic.
Mm-hmm.
For him, magic isn't some supernatural trick. Magic is a profound transformation of your inner state. If you go in broken and you come out calm and whole, well, that's a magical act.
It's a kind of alchemy, turning the lead of your anxiety into gold.
Exactly. He's all about the tangible result, the peace, the feeling of resolution. If the ritual doesn't change your state, in his view, you haven't really done it.
He calls it the biggest magic, which leads right into how he views the Quran itself.
As a book of incantations.
Not just a book of rules or stories.
This is a really critical distinction he's making. You know, in traditions like Hinduism or Buddhism, you have mantras.
Right, like Om.
Exactly. Sounds that are believed to create a certain vibration. The idea is that the sound itself tunes your body and mind, even if you don't intellectually grasp the meaning.
And Osman is applying that exact logic to the Quranic verses.
He is. He's saying the power is in the sound of the Arabic, the vibration it creates.
He even gives these really specific protocols. I guess we could call them spells.
Huh? I think he'd be fine with that. But protocol sounds more like him. It's more scientific.
Okay, good point. Protocol number 1, the morning routine. He talks about a specific chapter, Surah Yasin.
Which is often called the heart of the Quran in the tradition. It's known to be very powerful.
So he says, if you recite this chapter in the morning, your whole day just becomes easy.
And the analogy he uses for easy is just perfect. The thorn bush.
The silk dress analogy. It's so good. It's really stuck with me.
Too.
He says, okay, picture you're wearing this beautiful, delicate silk dress, and your day is a big, thorny bush you have to walk through.
We've all had those days.
Totally. So on a normal, hard day, you're just dragging that silk dress through the thorns. It's catching, it's tearing, you're getting frustrated. Everything is a struggle.
It feels like the world is just designed to snag you at every turn.
Exactly. But he says, if you do this recitation, you still have to go through the bush. The problems don't magically disappear.
The traffic is still there. The annoying boss is still there.
But you glide through it.
The thorns don't catch.
The silk doesn't tear. You move through all that friction without taking on the damage.
I love that distinction because it's so realistic. He isn't selling a fantasy where nothing bad ever happens. He's selling resilience. The magic changes you, not the world around you. It's like it greases the wheels of your own experience so you don't get stuck.
And speaking of getting stuck, that brings us to his next protocol. For when you feel completely trapped.
The Prophet Jonah?
Prophet Yunus, yeah.
Hmm.
So quick recap for anyone who doesn't know the story. Jonah gets swallowed by a great fish, a whale. He's literally in the belly of a beast at the bottom of the ocean. You can't get much more trapped than that.
No, that's about as stuck as you can get.
And Osman says there is a specific prayer, an incantation that Jonah used inside the whale to get out.
And he applies this metaphorically, which is just brilliant. He says, look, you're probably not in a literal whale,
Hopefully not.
but maybe you're in a financial whale
Yeah.
or a bad job whale where your boss has total control and you feel like there is absolutely no escape.
He says you recite this specific Jonah code with patience and faith, and it will release you. It's a tool to get unstuck from impossible situations.
Again, just notice how functional this is. He diagnoses a life problem, feeling trapped, and he prescribes a specific spiritual formula. It's almost clinical.
Clinical is the perfect word, especially because he also talks about using verses for physical illness. He brings up verse 62.
Right?
And he claims you only need the first half of that verse to send telepathic healing to someone, no matter how far away they are.
Which connects right back to his background as a bioenergy healer. If you believe we're all connected by an energy field, the basis of Reiki or Qigong, then these sounds are just frequencies of peace that can travel through that field.
It's such a seamless layering of Islamic scripture over that energy healing framework. But this is where, for me, it gets really interesting. We have to talk about his backstory and his warnings about modern life. Because he has a theory about our smartphones that I honestly did not see coming.
Oh, the accidental mindfulness theory. This is where it gets a little dark, but it's a fascinating observation.
So for context, Osman says he had a full-blown Kundalini awakening when he was just 19.
Right, and for those who aren't familiar, Kundalini is this idea in yoga of a dormant, powerful energy coiled at the base of the spine, like a snake.
An awakening, it's supposed to be this huge spiritual event.
Huge, but also potentially very dangerous. People train for decades under gurus to handle that energy safely. If you force it too soon, it's like putting 10,000 volts through a standard electrical wire. You blow the whole system.
And Osman says his just happened spontaneously because he was so deep into martial arts and fitness. He claims he broke the 3 spiritual knots by accident.
And that experience taught him that this energy can be dangerous if you aren't prepared for it.
Exactly. So keep that high voltage warning in mind. Now, he looks at us today in the 21st century, and he says, you guys are all doing mindfulness practice, and you don't even realize it.
And he points right at the phone in your hand.
He says, we are staring at these little screens for, 16 hours a day? He argues that is a form of mindfulness. I mean, think about it. Mindfulness is keeping your mind focused on one thing.
It's a controversial take, but his logic follows. If traditional meditation is about akagrata one-pointed focus, where you shut out everything else to lock onto a single point,
then doom scrolling on social media is technically a deep meditative state.
a dark meditation.
A bad one, yeah.
He's arguing that this intense, laser-like focus on our screens is accidentally triggering these powerful energy awakenings. We're raising our kundalini while watching TikToks.
But we have 0 spiritual training, no grounding, no preparation.
And that, he says, is the danger. The energy isn't balanced, so it manifests as anxiety, panic attacks, mental health crises. He's making a direct link between our tech addiction and our spiritual physiology.
We're basically frying our own circuits. We're running this high-voltage focus into a system that was never designed to handle it.
It is a terrifying thought. It completely reframes what it means to zone out on your phone. You're not resting. You might be doing unlicensed, dangerous energy work on yourself.
It makes you wonder what spells we're accidentally casting on ourselves all day, and makes you see why he respects the good magic so much. He tells a story about channeling too much energy, even intentionally.
The Night of Power story.
Yeah. During Ramadan, there's this special night where prayers are considered extra potent. So Osman, being the results-oriented guy he is, decides to go big.
He treats it like a workout at the gym. Sets and reps.
He planned to do 10 sets of 100 repetitions of specific verses, 1,000 reps in total. He figured if one is good, 1,000 will be incredible.
And what happened?
He says he got through a single set.
And he had to physically grab onto a wall to keep from falling over.
He describes it like he was the Leaning Tower of Pisa. The power from the incantation was so overwhelming, it physically knocked him off balance. He was dizzy.
Which just reinforces his core belief. These are not just words, they're power sources.
It
They're
is.
high voltage.
And you have to respect the voltage.
Exactly. Just because it's prayer doesn't mean it's gentle or passive. It's an active, powerful force.
But, and this is a huge but, he insists that this power, this voltage, is for everybody.
The universal invitation. I love this part of his message.
He is so clear about this. You do not have to be Muslim to get the benefits.
He compares it directly to a Hindu mantra. He says something like, I don't have to be Hindu to feel the power of a Sanskrit mantra, and you don't have to be Muslim to feel the power of the Quran.
It's all about the vibration.
Yeah.
He says he's seen people who don't understand a single word of Arabic just start weeping when they hear it recited.
He calls it a cleansing effect.
It's a very inclusive, open-source approach to religion. He's basically saying, look, here's the code. It runs on the human energetic system, not just the Muslim energetic system. So run the script. See what happens.
And speaking of what happens, we have to mention the side benefits he talks about, because for a guy who deals in cosmic energy, he is hilariously practical.
The networking and the snacks.
You can't forget the snacks.
He says, if you go to these recitation gatherings,
Mhm.
number 1, there is always an amazing spread of free food.
He knows what motivates people.
And number 2, he says it's a great place to meet wealthy people.
Oil sheiks, I think he says. Wealthy businessmen who, and this is the key part, don't believe in charging interest.
This cracked me up. He's like, why would you beg a bank for an overdraft and pay them huge fees when a wealthy Muslim might just lend you the money, interest-free?
It's a funny line, but it's also a really insightful comment on community dynamics. He's pointing out that the religious rules around charity and against usury are actual functional economic safety nets.
He's saying the system works, and so use the system.
It just rounds out his whole personality. He's part mystic, part life coach.
And part financial advisor.
It just shows he's grounded. He understands we need peace and health and purpose. And sometimes you just need a loan and a good sandwich.
Yeah, he's got a path to all of it.
He sees no conflict between the mystical and the material. They're all just parts of living.
So let's try to wrap this up.
Uh-huh.
We've gone from the man from Oz to this soak dress day to this terrifying idea of accidental mindfulness on our phones.
I think the biggest takeaway here is about agency. Osman is presenting a vision of religion that isn't about passive belief. It's about active participation.
Right.
These prayers and verses are tools. They're spiritual wrenches and hammers that you are meant to use to build a better life.
It's the difference between just admiring a car
Hmm.
and actually getting in and driving it somewhere.
That's it. He's saying we've been looking at the manual, the Quran, as just a rule book when it's actually an operating system full of programs you can run to get specific results.
And whether you subscribe to the theology or not, that perspective, that our ritual should produce a tangible, positive result in our lives, is really powerful.
It forces you to look at your own habits. If you're not using intentional incantations or positive rituals, then what loops are running in your head all day?
Which brings us right back to the phone. And that's really the thought I want to leave everyone with today.
Mm.
If Osman is right, and staring at our screens is a form of powerful, if accidental, energy work, what are we channeling that focus into?
If your phone is the book of magic you consult 100 times a day, what kind of spell are you constantly casting on yourself? Is it a spell of anxiety, of comparison, of fear?
And if you want to change that spell, maybe you need a different book, a different companion, something to think about the next time you reach for your pocket. Thanks for diving in with us.
See you next time.